Um, I saw some I saw some news today about, or maybe it was yesterday, I guess. This says 1 day ago. Um, of there were some CIA workers or CIA employees who mysteriously died in a car crash inside of Mexico. Um, allegedly doing narco things, like trying to maybe uh infiltrate the gangs or something to I don't know, I guess try to dismantle them or something, or gather intel, who knows. So like it probably was something along those lines if I had to guess, but let's go and watch this video and see if we can get any more info about it.
Developing right now, leaders in Mexico are demanding answers after two CIA employees were killed in a car crash following a drug lab raid. Now, it happened in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, which shares a border with Texas and New Mexico. Mexico's president says she was not aware of the drug raid and that collaborations between the local government and U.S. without federal permission violate Mexican law. I want to bring in CBS News intelligence.
They weren't even aware of it. Mexico wasn't aware of it. That's not good, dude. I mean, I know that we have our CIA ghouls all over the fucking place trying to, dismantle democracies and stuff, or set up like coups and whatnot, just like all over South America. Like, I know that we have all that. And they obviously aren't getting permission from their countries to do it. But to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that we would do this to Mexico without getting their permission. Because that seems like a recipe for disaster in terms of like our relations. And despite how much Trump thinks, I don't know how little Trump thinks of Mexico, it is one of our most important trade partners. We depend on them for a lot of stuff. So like I don't know, this could set up a diplomatic incident, but we'll see what else is going on here.
Intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gazis. Olivia, great to be with you. There's always a lot of secrecy around anything involved with the CIA. So what do we know about why these agents were in Mexico in the first place?
Sure, Liz. Well, you're absolutely right that there's still a lot of seeming contradictions and definite unknowns here, and there is still an investigation ongoing. So the U.S. government, for its part, has had very little to say publicly about the circumstances of this incident, the first indication of which we got from a brief social media post by the U.S. ambassador to Mexico. So what we've been able to piece together from U.S. and Mexican officials who are familiar with the situation so far is that this crash happened in northern Mexico shortly after a counter-narcotics operation that was carried out, we understand, by Mexican authorities. Two U.S. officials who we have now confirmed to be employees of the CIA met with Mexican officials tied to that operation after it concluded. And while returning from that meeting, their vehicle went off the road and
Okay. Wait 1 second.
Authorities. Two U.S. officials who we have now confirmed to be employees of the CIA met with Mexican officials tied to that operation after it concluded. And while
met with Mexican officials tied to that operation, they're making it sound like they're meeting with local officials that were knew that the operation was going on. But then there's a car crash immediately afterwards. Like that sounds to me more like something that seems incredibly suspicious. Somebody must have caused that car crash, I think. Like, it had to be, right? There's no way this was just some accident or something.
Turning from that meeting, their vehicle went off the road and plunged into a ravine, killing 4.
I'm also, yeah, okay, off a road into a ravine. Like, come on. It's like straight out of a movie, man. Like, somebody definitely forced them off the road, if I had to guess. Or they were drugged in some way and just passed out and fell asleep or something. I don't know for sure. It sounds like maybe I don't want to speculate too hard, but like maybe the local officials were like kind of in on it to some extent. But I don't know. I don't know. I want to know more about this.
Again, we're told the circumstances are still being investigated, and it's very much worth noting that it is rare and unusual for any CIA-linked casualties to surface this publicly and in what's almost real time. The agency usually releases very little public information about their fallen beyond adding stars to the well-known memorial wall in their headquarters, which commemorates.
Yeah, the well-known memorial. So that's what you get, by the way. If you are a CIA goon who's going out there and doing all of these terrible things to all of our South American brothers and sisters down there, yeah, if you die in those operations, then they're not allowed to release it to anybody. So they all you get is a secret star in their secret office, that only the people who work at the CIA with clearance are allowed to know about. So I guess, yeah, that is true, that this is weird that they are confirming this, that they are like, maybe it was inevitably going to get out or something, maybe because Mexico knows about it, they were going to go public with it. It is weird though that the CIA is just even confirming though that these were CIA employees.
Commemorates officers who've lost their lives in the line of duty. So it can take years and sometimes even decades to learn the specifics, but the speed and the visibility here of this incident.
Yeah. Yeah, this wall right here. Like all of these CIA people, man, I'm telling you, they are never up to anything good. You don't have to feel bad about these people, these stars up here. They all died doing what they love, like destabilizing brown countries. Like, honestly, that's like the primary purpose of the CIA. It's just destabilizing brown countries. So yeah, that's whatever.
Is reflective, I think, of the intense level of scrutiny of the US's counter-narcotics missions around the world that have otherwise been a very visible priority for this administration.
And Olivia, all this is coming as the U.S. has placed increased pressure on Mexico over drug trafficking. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I mean, CIA, for its part, has a long history of running counter-narcotics operations worldwide.
Yeah, they also have a huge history of like being a part of drug trafficking rings. Like, dude, CIA people, they make a lot of money on the side, often working with cartels and stuff to import, like allowing cartels to get away with stuff in order to get like side money and whatnot. So that's also a very common occurrence in the CIA.
But again, that mission has really been beefed up since John Ratcliffe, the current director, took the helm of the agency last year. Every director that comes in sort of sets and reshapes priorities for his workforce or her workforce. And one of Ratcliffe's earliest moves was to stand up a mission center dedicated to merging intelligence collection and analysis to target specifically drug trafficking and cartel networks, again, in line with the administration's priorities. Now, that has required to a large extent.
The real purpose of that, though, is not like isn't preventing like drug trafficking. The reason that they're doing that is to antagonize Mexico. Like, that's their primary purpose when they're doing these things. They want to like pressure Mexico in a way of saying like, we can do this inside of your country and you can't do anything about it. Like that's like their primary goal when they're doing these types of things. I don't think they care that much, to be honest, about actual drugs being like imported into America. To be completely honest, I don't think they really care that much. And the CIA does that as well. Like I said, they also partake in the drug trafficking by like turning blind eyes and all that sort of stuff. So in general, I see all of this as more like a geopolitical maneuvering by the Trump administration against like Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico. Like trying to be like, how dare you implement like socialized medicine down there, like sort of that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what I think is more likely. Bless you. Bless you.
cooperation of foreign governments to partner, including and especially maybe even Mexico's government. President Claudia Sheinbaum, who you referenced, has previously publicly spoken to working much more closely with U.S. agencies on anti-drug missions. It's, of course, possible that she and other senior leadership in Mexico were.
My understanding is that she's already doing a really good job on her own of like clamping down on the cartels. So I don't really know how, like, maybe they're accepting some. I think, like I said before, I think this is more just geopolitical maneuvering from Trump. I think that whether they might be accepting the help, maybe they need the help, I don't know for sure. But in general, I think a lot of these, like when America does a lot of these operations, especially on a country as like nearby as Mexico, it's more like, I think it's more about trying to influence, like, with especially without their knowing. It's more to just show them that we can do this. It's the same way that like Israel does, like infiltrates the IRGC and like sets, like, launches a few drones from on Iranian territory during the 12-day war or something. Like, they're just showing that they can do it as a way to like antagonize and like that sort of stuff. That's kind of like my thoughts, but who knows?
Read in on this specific activity, but
What do
this
I
is
know?
definitely happening against a backdrop of openly acknowledged bilateral pushes for closer cooperation on counter-narcotics operations in particular.
Time bomb, my queen, my socialist queen. She's killing it over there, man. I think she has a really good approval rating too. Let me see. Shine bomb approval. April 13th, 2026. Well, okay. It looks like on average, what? 54% approve. Well, she was higher before. Like a few months ago, she was at 63. So I don't know what's going on right now that's lowering it, but she was pretty consistently at like a 60% approval rate. And like, I don't even remember the last president that was at like a 60% approval rate 3 years or whatever she is into her administration. So